Hello, mathematicians! Today you're going to play a new game called How Many to 10. You can choose to play this game online or with the materials that you have at home. When you're playing today, you're going to need your 10 frame cards. If you have those at home, you can cut them up and put them into a pile facing down. To play this game, the first thing you're going to do today is you're going to flip over one of your 10 frame cards and you're going to think about how many dots you see. Let's try that together. How many dots do you see? How do you know? I bet some of you are saying that you noticed that there were 5 on top and 4 on the bottom. And 5 plus 4 more gives us 9. Next, you're going to record on your recording sheet how many you saw on the card that you flipped over. Today, I'm going to use red circles because there are red circles on my card. You shared with me that you saw 9, so I'm going to record 9 red circles on my recording sheet. Next, you're going to write that number on the equation to represent how many you saw on your first card that you flipped over. We noticed that there were 9, so I'm going to write that number 9 first in my equation. Then we're going to do a thinking question. You're going to ask yourself, how many more do I need to make 10? Today when we are playing, we flipped over 9. If we have 9, how many more do we need to make 10? You're right, we need 1 more. I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to use a yellow to show how many more we need to make 10. How many yellow circles did I put in my 10s frame? Yes, 1. So now I'm going to add that 1 into my equation. Let's look closely at my equation. What does this 9 represent? Can you tell me? You're right, it represents how many we saw on our card. The first card I flipped over today had 9 dots. What does this 1 represent? You're right, it represents how many more we needed to make 10. What does this symbol here represent that I'm pointing to? That's our plus sign. That represents that we're adding 2 groups together to make our total of 10. 10 is the same as 9 and 1 more. So both parts of our equation are equal. 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. Let's play another round of how many to 10. Notice the next 10 frame card I flipped over. How many dots do you see here? How do you know? I bet that some of you are sharing that you noticed that there were 5 dots on the top row and then 1 below, which makes 6. After we figure out how many dots are on the 10 frame card, what do we do next? You got it. We're going to record how many we noticed on our recording sheet. So I'm going to record 6, and then I'm going to record the amount in my equation. So on our next round, we're starting with 6 dots. Now I need to think about how many more do I need to make 10? How could we solve this? What do you think? Can you share with me what you're trying at home? Some of you might be saying, I'm going to count how many spots are still blank on our tens frame. And if I count the remaining spots, that will tell me how many more I need to make 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we put 4 counters on our tens frame, will we make 10? Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 and 4 more equals 10. So today, when we played How Many to 10, we recorded 2 different ways that we could make 10. We noticed that 9 and 1 more is one way to make 10, and 6 plus 4 more is another way to make 10. So as you're playing today, remember you're going to flip over the card. You're going to figure out how many dots are on your card. You'll record that amount on your recording sheet, and then you'll ask yourself, how many more do we need to make 10? When you figure that out, you'll write an equation to match that round. Keep playing today until you've filled up your whole recording sheet. And remember, you can choose to play this game online, or you can play at home with your paper recording sheet and your tens frame cards that you made. You can choose to play How Many to 10 with the materials you have at home. You'll need a pencil, your 10 frame cards, your recording sheet, and you'll need crayons or markers, something to color with, so that you can represent the number of dots on your 10 frame and then the amount of dots that you're going to add to build 10. So remember, when we play this game, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to flip over one of your 10 frame cards, and you're going to ask yourself, how many dots do I see? What do you notice about this 10 frame card? How many do you see? You're right, there are 5 dots. So I'm going to record those 5 dots with a red marker. That's my starting number today. So I'm going to start my equation with the number that represents how many dots were on the card. Now I have to ask myself, how many more do I need to make 10? If I have 5, how many more do I need? What do you think? How do you know that? Some of you may have shared that when the top row is full, you knew in a snap that that was 5. And the bottom row is empty. So you might also know in a snap that we need 5 more. I'm going to change colors as I'm recording how many more I need. I'm changing colors so that I can show how many were on the card and then how many more I needed to make 10. I needed 5 more. 5 plus 5 more equals 10. Let's play one more round together. I'm going to flip my next card. What do you notice? How many dots do you see? You're probably noticing that top row is full, so you knew in a snap that that was 5. One more on the second row would give us 6. So I'm going to start by recording those 6 dots on my 10 frame. I'm also going to write that number 6 at the beginning of my equation. Okay, mathematicians, if I have 6, how many more do I need to make 10? You might be using that strategy of counting on your fingers. 7, 8, 9, 10. When I look down, I notice that when I count up, let me try that again with you. 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm holding up 4 fingers. I also notice that there are 4 blank spaces on my 10 frame. So if I have 6 and I add 4 more dots, that's another way that I can make 10. So today, as you're playing how many to 10, think about how many different combinations you can make today as you're flipping over your cards and recording your amounts. Remember to use 2 different colors to represent how many were on the card when you flipped it over at first, and then a different color to represent how many more you need to build 10. Have fun playing, mathematicians!